Have you ever looked at an ordinary coin and wondered if it could secretly be worth a fortune? What if I told you that a simple quarter from 1986, something most people would overlook or spend without a thought, could actually change your life? One small coin hiding an incredible secret that has stunned collectors and historians alike. Welcome back to X Coins Hub, where every coin tells a story, and sometimes that story is worth far more than you could ever imagine. It all began in the mid-1980s, a decade defined by bold design, technological progress, and the spirit of change in America. The year was 1986, and the United States Mint continued producing the familiar Washington quarter, a coin that had already become part of everyday life. For most people, it was just 25 cents. But beneath the surface of some 1986 quarters, something extraordinary was happening. A minting mystery that would turn a few ordinary coins into priceless treasures. The Washington quarter design, featuring the proud bust of George Washington on the obverse, had been in use since 1932. By 1986, it had already stood the test of time, symbolizing America's strength and history. Yet, what makes certain coins from this year so valuable isn't just the design, it's the rare mistakes, the hidden variations, and the conditions in which they survived. Every coin starts as a blank planche, a simple metal disc. When the minting dies strike it, precision and power combine to form the coin's final image. But sometimes errors occur. A slightly misaligned die, a double strike, or an off-metal planche can result in something completely unique. And that uniqueness, in the world of collectors, means value, sometimes unimaginable value. The 1986 quarters were struck at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia mint quarters carry no mint mark, the Denver ones bear a small D, and the San Francisco mint produced proofs with the iconic S. Among these, a few rare pieces stood out for reasons that would only become known decades later. Collectors began noticing unusual 1986 quarters, coins that had sharper details, deeper luster, or strange metal tones. Some were struck on planches meant for other denominations, while others had die cracks or doubling so subtle that only trained eyes could spot them. These small imperfections made certain 1986 quarters truly one of a kind. Now imagine this. You're holding a coin that's been in circulation for years, perhaps passed through hundreds of hands, through stores, pockets, and piggy banks. Yet in that worn surface, a hidden secret sleeps. A detail so small that it turns a simple quarter into a historical artifact worth thousands. One particular 1986 quarter stands above them all. It's known for its extraordinary mint condition, flawless strike, and untouched surface. While most coins from this year were mass-produced and used in daily transactions, this one remained pristine, preserved like a time capsule. Collectors often dream of finding such a piece, because it represents not just rarity, but perfection. Over the years, stories began to surface about people who stumbled upon these rare coins by accident. A forgotten change jar, an inherited collection, a lucky find at a yard sale. Each discovery added to the legend of the 1986 quarter. For those who knew what to look for, the coin became a symbol of hope, a reminder that treasure can hide in plain sight. The design itself is deeply symbolic. George Washington's portrait, originally sculpted by John Flanagan, was chosen to mark the bicentennial of Washington's birth. It reflects not just his leadership, but the nation's enduring respect for its founding ideals. The reverse, with the bald eagle poised proudly on a bundle of arrows, represents America's readiness and strength. Every line, every curve, and every glint of light across the surface carries a story of national pride. But for collectors, the true fascination lies in the fine details. The sharpness of the lettering, the strike on Washington's hair, the clarity of the eagle's feathers, all these features can elevate a coin from common to extraordinary. Even the faintest doubling in the letters Liberty or In God We Trust can transform an ordinary quarter into a collector's dream. Some of these coins were struck using dies near the end of their lifespan, leading to light cracks or die deterioration marks, unintentional fingerprints of the minting process. Others came from early die states where every detail was crisp and perfect. These are the coins that serious collectors chase for decades. There's also the matter of grading, the process by which coins are evaluated for quality. The difference between a coin graded MS-65 and MS-67 can mean tens of thousands of dollars. For a 1986 quarter, a flawless mint state specimen with impeccable luster and no scratches becomes something truly special. A piece of art frozen in metal. Think about it. Millions of these coins were made, yet only a handful exist in such perfect condition. Time, handling, and circulation have erased most of them. The survivors are few. But those few are legendary. Over the years, experts and collectors have come to regard the 1986 quarter not just as a common piece of currency, but as a symbol of hidden potential. It reminds us that value isn't always obvious. Sometimes it takes patience, passion, and knowledge to uncover the treasures that others overlook. So the next time you go through your spare change, take a closer look. You might just be holding history in your hands. A little piece of 1986 that tells a story of craftsmanship, chance, and timeless beauty. Because among all the coins struck that year, there exists one so rare, so perfectly preserved, that it has achieved almost mythical status. Collectors and historians regard it as one of the finest examples of modern minting excellence, and its worth reflects that. After all these years, that single 1986 quarter in pristine condition has been valued at an astonishing $108,000. Yes, one quarter, just 25 cents when it was made, now stands as a treasure worth over $100,000. It's proof that even the smallest things, when preserved with care or struck by fate's rare touch, can hold extraordinary power. So check your pockets, your drawers, and your old collections, because the next rare find could be resting quietly in your hands right now. And if you enjoyed uncovering the story behind this legendary 1986 quarter, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because here on X Coins Hub, every coin has a secret, and every secret has a story waiting to be told. Have you ever held a coin in your hand and wondered if it carried more than just metal? Perhaps a story, a piece of history, or even the legacy of someone extraordinary? What if that small coin, resting quietly in your palm, represented the strength, resilience, and brilliance of one of America's most inspiring figures? Imagine discovering that this very coin, one you might have used for a soda or tucked away in a drawer, could actually be worth a small fortune. Welcome back to Det at X Coins Hub, where every coin has a hidden story, and some stories are worth far more than you could ever imagine. The year was 2022, a moment of change, reflection, and celebration in American history. For the first time ever, the United States Mint released a new quarter featuring a remarkable woman, poet, and icon, Maya Angelou. Her appearance on the quarter wasn't just a tribute, it was a milestone. It marked the beginning of the American Women Quarters program, a series honoring trailblazing women who shaped the nation's history. This coin was more than just a redesign. It was a message, a powerful symbol of recognition for women who fought for progress, for justice, and for equality. And at the forefront of that message stood Maya Angelou, a woman whose words still echo across generations. On one side of the coin, the familiar portrait of George Washington remains, but not the same old version we've seen for decades. The 2022 Maya Angelou quarter introduced a brand new obverse, a refreshed image of Washington designed by Laura Garden Fraser, one of the most renowned sculptors of her time. Interestingly, her design was originally created in 1931, but it was only chosen to appear on the quarter over 90 years later. History finally gave her the spotlight she had earned long ago. Flip the coin, and the magic truly begins. On the reverse, we see Maya Angelou standing tall, arms raised gracefully toward the sky. Behind her, a bird soars upward, wings stretched wide as the sun rises in radiant beams. The design captures the essence of freedom and strength, a perfect visual metaphor for Angelou's life and her most famous work. I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. The details are breathtaking. Every curve of her figure, every ray of sunlight, every feather of the bird was carved with precision to capture both movement and meaning. It's not just metal, it's emotion frozen in time. And that emotion turned this coin into something truly unforgettable. But behind this art lies an incredible story of how this coin came to be. The 2022 Maya Angelou quarter was part of a broader effort to reshape American coinage, to tell more inclusive stories, to honor voices that had long been overlooked. For collectors, this wasn't just another quarter. It was history in the making. And as soon as it hit circulation, it sparked a wave of excitement across the nation. Coin enthusiasts, history buffs, and everyday Americans rushed to find this new design in their change. Some found it fresh from the mint, its luster still shining, while others discovered tiny imperfections, minting errors that would make their coins even more valuable. Among those 2022 Maya Angelou quarters, a few stood out for their rarity. Some had doubled features, tiny cracks, or slight die misalignments. These imperfections, invisible to the untrained eye, turned ordinary coins into hidden treasures. And like all treasures, they became the focus of passionate collectors determined to find the best of the best. The minting took place across 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint produced its own versions, with subtle variations. The Philadelphia and Denver coins entered general circulation, while San Francisco's mint produced stunning proof coins meant for collectors. The proof versions, with their mirror-like surfaces and perfect strikes, soon became sought-after pieces in the numismatic world. For many, however, the appeal wasn't just in the shine or rarity. It was in what the coin represented. Maya Angelou was a poet, a civil rights activist, an author, and a voice that refused to be silenced. She spoke of identity, strength, and freedom, and now, her spirit lived on in millions of small silver discs passed from hand to hand across America. Imagine it, a coin that doesn't just pay for something, but tells a story every time it changes hands. A coin that reminds people of courage and creativity. A coin that embodies the idea that words, like metal, can last forever. Some of these coins remained untouched, sealed away in mint sets, preserved in flawless condition. These are the ones that collectors dream of. Each gleaming surface reflects not just perfection, but promise. When examined under magnification, the sharpness of Angelou's figure, the clarity of the sunbeams, and the precision of the eagle's feathers distinguish these rare pieces from the rest. And among these, a few coins have reached near mythical status, coins struck with such exactness, or preserved with such purity that they have become legendary in the collector community. They represent the very best examples of modern American minting, proof that even today, in an age of digital transactions and fading cash, coins still matter. As time passes, the significance of the 2022 Maya Angelou quarter continues to grow. It's more than a coin. It's a statement. It celebrates heritage, equality, and art, all embodied in a small piece of metal you could once find in your pocket. For future generations, it will stand as a symbol of a nation learning to honor all of its heroes, not just some of them. Every collector who holds one feels a sense of connection to history, to poetry, and to the enduring human spirit that Maya Angelou so beautifully captured in her life and words. The coin whispers her message silently. Still, I rise. So next time you sort through your change, take a moment to look closer. The 2022 Maya Angelou quarter might seem like just another coin, but under the right light, it shines a little differently. It tells a story of triumph, art, and inspiration. And who knows? That same coin might be the rare piece the world is looking for. Because among the countless 2022 Maya Angelou quarters that rolled off the presses, a few were minted to near perfection, untouched by time, and preserved in a condition so extraordinary that their worth has skyrocketed beyond imagination. And today, one of those exceptional coins, flawless, radiant, and filled with history, has been valued at an incredible $108,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single 2022 Maya Angelou quarter, worth just 25 cents when it was made, now holds a value that could buy a car, a home, or a future. It's a reminder that greatness hides in the smallest things, that art and meaning can turn even the humblest coin into a masterpiece. So, keep your eyes open, your mind curious, and your coins safe, because the next priceless treasure could already be in your pocket right now. And if you enjoyed uncovering the story behind this extraordinary coin, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, because here on the X Coins Hubby, we reveal the hidden legends behind America's most fascinating coins, where every piece of change has the power to change your life. Have you ever held a coin that felt different? One that carried not just a design, but a story of courage, history, and national pride? What if that small piece of metal in your pocket could connect you directly to one of the most defining moments in American history? A night when bravery changed the fate of a nation. And what if that same coin, a simple 2021 quarter, turned out to be worth far more than anyone could have imagined? Welcome back to X Coins Hub, where every coin has a story to tell, and some stories are truly priceless. The year was 2021, a year of transition, reflection, and new beginnings. The United States Mint decided to close a historic chapter and start a new one. After more than 2 decades of the State Quarters program, which had celebrated all 50 states, and the subsequent America the Beautiful series that honored national parks, the Mint introduced something bold and symbolic: a brand new design, a return to history, the 2021 Washington Quarter, Crossing the Delaware. This wasn't just another commemorative design. It was a revival of America's revolutionary spirit, a reminder of the night when General George Washington led his troops across the icy Delaware River during the harsh winter of 1776. That daring crossing changed the course of the American Revolution. It wasn't just an act of leadership. It was an act of faith, determination, and hope in the face of impossible odds. Now, imagine capturing that very moment, frozen in silver and copper, etched forever into the face of a coin. That's exactly what the 2021 Crossing the Delaware quarter represents. The obverse features the timeless image of George Washington, originally sculpted by John Flanagan, retaining the familiar grace and strength Americans had seen for decades. But the reverse, the new design, brought history to life. Created by artist Benjamin Sowards and sculpted by Michael Gaudioso, it depicts Washington standing tall on a boat, commanding his troops as they cross the dark, icy waters. His coat billows in the wind, his sword at his side, eyes fixed ahead, resolute and fearless. Every tiny detail of the design tells a story. The rippling waves, the determination in Washington's stance, the folds of his uniform, all captured with precision to remind us of the sacrifice and courage it took to forge freedom. It's not just a coin. It's a scene of history in motion. The 2021 quarter was struck at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. The Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark. Denver bears a D and San Francisco features an S. While millions were produced, not all were created equal. Among the countless coins that rolled off the presses, a few rare ones emerged, coins that would become legends. Collectors began noticing subtle differences, tiny minting errors, die cracks, doubled features, and planchet variations that made certain pieces one of a kind. Some coins displayed faint doubling on Washington's coat or the lettering a pluribus unum. Others had striking die marks or light misalignments that turned ordinary circulation coins into hidden treasures. But even without errors, some 2021 quarters stood out for their sheer perfection. Coins preserved straight from mint rolls, never touched by human hands, gleamed with flawless luster and razor-sharp detail. These mint-state specimens were not just coins. They were time capsules, untouched reminders of craftsmanship and care. What makes the 2021 Crossing the Delaware quarter even more special is its timing. It marked a bridge between eras, the end of the long-running America the Beautiful series, and the beginning of a new chapter in U.S. coinage history. This made it a centerpiece for collectors, a must-have for anyone building a complete collection of modern quarters. And then came the rarest of them all, the coins that defied expectation. Some were struck on experimental planchets or displayed mirror-like surfaces rarely seen in standard issues. Others achieved grades so high, so immaculate, that they stunned even the most seasoned numismatists. Imagine holding one in your hand, the crisp edges, the perfect relief, the gleaming finish. It's a tangible connection to a story more than 2 centuries old, a story of defiance, bravery, and leadership. As collectors examined these rare pieces, demand began to rise. What once was a simple 25-cent coin became a symbol of history's endurance, a tribute to Washington's unyielding resolve, and a work of art in miniature form. Over time, pristine examples and rare error coins began commanding attention across the numismatic world. Yet the true magic of this coin lies not just in its value, but in what it stands for. Every time you hold a 2021 Crossing the Delaware quarter, you're reminded of that freezing December night in 1776, when Washington's army, cold, hungry, and exhausted, risked everything for a chance at victory. The crossing of the Delaware wasn't just a military maneuver. It was a moment that proved the American spirit could endure even in the darkest times. And now, more than 2 centuries later, that same spirit is preserved in this coin, a simple, everyday object carrying the weight of an entire nation's history. As time passes, fewer of these coins will remain in pristine condition. Many will be spent, lost, or tarnished. But those rare survivors, the untouched, flawless examples, are destined to become treasures of incredible worth. Each one represents not just metal and minting, but memory and meaning. Each one tells a story of courage carved into copper and nickel, the story of America itself. So the next time you come across a 2021 quarter, take a closer look. Notice the stance of Washington, the ripples beneath his feet, the history captured within those tiny details. You might just be holding a piece of the past, and possibly a fortune. Because among all the millions of 2021 Crossing the Delaware quarters ever minted, there exists a handful so rare, so perfectly struck, and so well preserved that their value has reached astonishing heights. And one of those exceptional coins, shining in flawless condition, carrying the legacy of America's most iconic moment, has been valued today at an incredible $108,000. Yes, a single quarter, worth just 25 cents when it was released, now holds a price tag that can change someone's life. It's proof that history is everywhere, in our pockets, in our hands, and sometimes in the smallest things we overlook every day. So check your change, search your drawers, and look closely at every coin that passes through your fingers. Because the next piece of forgotten history might already be waiting for you to discover it. And if you loved uncovering the story behind this powerful and historic coin, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because here on X-Coins Hub we reveal the hidden legends behind America's most fascinating coins, where every piece of change tells a story worth remembering.